You sat down to read a book, or maybe watch a movie, something you used to love. You got comfortably situated. You committed to the next 2 hours. But 12 minutes in, you felt the itch. It starts in the chest, a subtle tightening. Then it moves to the hand, a phantom vibration. You didn't want to check your phone. You were interested in the movie, but your hand moves on its own. You unlocked the screen, refreshed 3 apps, saw nothing new, and locked it again. You didn't even process the information. You just needed to touch the totem. In 2004, the average time a human could focus on a single screen was 2.5 minutes. By 2012, it was 75 seconds. Today, it is roughly 47 seconds. We are witnessing the rapid extinction of deep focus. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it popcorn brain. Popcorn brain is what happens when your mind adjusts to the frantic pace of the internet. You become accustomed to the constant popping of new stimuli. A text, a notification, a 6-second loop. Your brain has forgotten how to digest a full meal, like a novel or a conversation, because it has been surviving on snacks for a decade. But this isn't just about being distracted. This isn't just about productivity. This is about why you are running away from yourself. To understand why you can't stop, we have to look at a pigeon in a box. In the 1950s, the behavioral psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered something called variable reward schedules. He found that if you give a pigeon food every time it pecks a button, it eventually gets bored. It eats what it needs and leaves. But if you give it food randomly, sometimes a lot, sometimes nothing at all, the pigeon becomes obsessed. It will peck until it physically collapses. Your phone is the most advanced Skinner box ever created. When you pull down to refresh, you are pulling the lever of a slot machine. Will there be an email? Maybe. Will there be a like? Maybe. Will there be a disaster in the news? Maybe. This uncertainty activates the seeking circuit in your brain. This is an ancient biological system designed to keep us hunting for food in the wild. We often mistake dopamine for the molecule of pleasure. But neuroscientists like Jaak Panksepp have shown that dopamine is actually the molecule of anticipation. You don't scroll because you enjoy the content. In fact, most of the time, the content makes you feel angry, jealous, or inadequate. You scroll because the act of seeking numbs the pain of the present moment. You aren't lazy. You are an addict in a casino where the house never closes, and the currency is your time. The philosopher Blaise Pascal once said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." Why is it so painful to do nothing? Why do you listen to podcasts while you shower? Why do you need YouTube playing in the background just to fall asleep? Because boredom is not just the absence of fun. Boredom is a mirror. When the external noise stops, the internal noise begins. The regrets you've been pushed down, the anxiety about your career, the deep loneliness you feel even when you're online. We use the popcorn of the internet to drown out the static of the self. We are disenchanted of silence because in silence, we have to meet ourselves. We have effectively killed the in-between. The moments waiting for the bus. The moments waiting for the coffee to brew. These used to be the moments where your brain processes emotions, where it rested. Now, we fill every microsecond with data. We are emotionally constipated because we never stop consuming long enough to digest. This constant consumption does something else. It erodes who you are. The Greeks had a paradox called the ship of Theseus. If you replace every plank of a wooden ship, piece by piece, is it still the same ship? If you replace every thought in your head with a tweet, a TikTok opinion, or a YouTuber's personality, are you still you? This is algorithm anxiety. You don't know what you like anymore. You only know what the algorithm thinks you like. You don't have hobbies. You have dopamine menus. You don't have opinions. You have trending topics. We are slowly becoming non-player characters in our own lives, waiting for the screen to tell us how to feel. We have reached the stage of the spectacle, where we prefer the representation of the thing over the thing itself. We prefer the text over the conversation, the vlog over the travel. We are watching life instead of living it. And the scariest part is that it feels comfortable. It feels safe inside the capsule. But we are running out of oxygen. So, how do we get our brains back? We do not use willpower. Willpower is a muscle, and yours is exhausted. We must use physics. We must introduce friction. Silicon Valley spends billions of dollars to make their apps frictionless. They want you to slide in without thinking. To fight back, you must build walls. Turn your smartphone into a dumb phone. Grayscale the screen so the colors don't stimulate your prime brain. Delete the apps that make you feel like garbage. Buy a physical alarm clock so you don't sleep with your enemy. Make it hard to get the hit. And finally, learn to be bored again. The next time you feel the itch, let it burn. Sit with the anxiety. Sit with the static. Don't run away from it, because boredom is the soil where creativity grows. It is the only place where you exist. The movie is meant to be watched. The book is meant to be read. And your life is meant to be lived, not scrolled. Welcome back to the headset.